Good evening and welcome back to Bugs' DCS Cruise. Tonight, I got a different one for you guys. I've been thinking about this airframe for a little while. I've been wanting to fly it, get it, etc., etc. And that's the AH-64 Apache. I've always had a soft spot for the Apache. It's an awesome helicopter. The AH-66 Comanche was also one of my favorites, but as we all know, the fate of that one didn't really work out too well. Good concept, good theory, but whatever happened there, happened there. So, the best we have with that is going to be the 64. I am doing this flight on the trial run of it because I want to see how she flies, how she handles, etc., before I dump $70 on this thing and end up not liking it. So that's a little side note. That's one of the cool parts about DCS is a majority of the modules you guys could take up and you can test out and give a trial run for 14 days or 2 weeks. And then you have to wait another 6 months before you could do it again. I think that's a pretty cool and a pretty awesome feature that ED gives us to be able to do to see if we actually really like it before we spend some serious coin on one of these things. And that's what we're doing tonight. So for this one, I'm just going to take this thing up for a flight. I'm going to see how she handles and whatnot. I have not flown this thing ever in DCS, so this is going to be interesting to say the least, and hopefully it goes well. We'll see what happens. After this, if it goes well and I have a good feeling about it, then there's a very good chance that you guys are going to see this added into my hangar. Which, speaking of that, I am going to do an updated hangar tour for you guys of the different airframes that I fly and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. I am working on that currently, among many other things. With that, there is another poll up on the community section of my YouTube channel for you guys to go leave your vote on. And I'm going to be doing a World War II bomber escort mission. So I got 4 airframes up there for you guys to vote on to see what you guys want me to fly. And that's between the P-47 Thunderbolt, the P-51 Mustang, the Focke-Wulf 190 A8, the Anton, and the BF-109 K4. So far, the Thunderbolt is taking it by a landslide. I'm shooting for this weekend. This is going to be a kind of a shorter poll. Usually I leave them up for a week or a couple of days longer, but this one is going to be a little bit shorter. So with all that being said, go cast your vote. Let me know what you think. Like I said, the Thunderbolt is already winning by a landslide. Let's get a couple more votes up on in there. I aim to do what you guys would like to see to keep everybody happy. So with all that being said, let's unpause and strap into the Apache and see what this baby girl can do. All right. Okay. What the hell just happened there? I wonder if this is like the other helicopters that you have to bring the power up to have any of your displays on. I don't know. This is, like I said, guys, this is the first time I'm actually flying this thing, and this helmet-mounted monocle is really cool, and it's really throwing me off a little bit. Oh, there we go. Alright. Like I said, guys, just bear with me for a second. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with this thing. I did not read the manual. I just mapped a few basic controls for now, and let's see what she could do. We're doing this the Bugs way. Alright. And how do I get that fancy little map back up over here? That one? Oh, nope. Not that. Okay. Mission aircraft communication. All right. Well, hey, and we have M4s in this thing. Look at that. Huh. That's cool. It's almost like the Kiowa. It says his up there, and there's ours back here. Alright. Let's see what we could do with this thing. This poor gunner has no idea what he's in for. At all. He has no clue. But at least I can pat him on the head. I'll try and give you the best ride I can, buddy. Just bear with me. Alright, let's get our parking brake off. Alright, I'm not going to worry too much about that map, but let's see what we can do here. Will this thing taxi the way the Black Hawk does? Kinda. Maybe. Okay, I see. It needs a little bit of collective to move forward. Alright. Let's unlock our tail. Oh boy. What the hell is going on here? Alright, let's not do that. What in the world? Let's try that again. Let's see if we can straighten that back out a little bit. And that was a little bit of an oops. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Let's straighten her back out. That's not ideal. Let's relock the tail wheel. What is going on here? Alright, this is interesting. Like I said, guys, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with this thing. Alright, there we go. That's a little bit better. Then not so much. Alright, we're gonna more than likely do a traditional takeoff with a helicopter because I don't know what on earth is going on here. Alright, let's just bring this thing up in the air. Let's see what we could do. Oh, actually, hold on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. Alright, so the tail wheel's a little finicky on this thing, steering-wise. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Alright, well, let's take her up from here, see what we could do. Alright guys, let's hope this is a smooth flight and all works out well for us. Here we go. And we're in the air. We're airborne. She is oddly stable. Wow. Okay. Alright, let's get her out of harm's way, and let's see what we could do. I'm just curious on how this thing flies. Alright, we're flying, guys. Just like that. Alright, let's see if we'll bring her right over the water, or over the coast, and see what happens. Alright, so there's our rotor RPM right there for a collective. The one thing that's throwing me off is, I'm not going to lie, I am not used to sitting in the back seat. At all. But the visibility on this thing is pretty damn good. Let's get a little flyby view for you guys here. It's my first time seeing it also. So let's see what she sounds like and looks like. Not bad. Not bad at all. I guess knowing how to fly a helicopter like the Huey or the OH-6 comes in handy with something like this. By the way, everything's moving around in this. That's pretty cool. Those little S hooks are moving around, or tags moving around. Wow. This is pretty cool. Let's see if we can hover over the city for a second here before we continue out. I just want to how stable she could be. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, guys, this is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. We're pretty much stationary. And losing altitude, which we don't want to do. Oop, let's not get into a VRS. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I guess the rotor wash off this thing is pretty gnarly. Just like the Black Hawk. Okay. Alright, let's push out. If this does work out and I do end up purchasing this thing, I have a feeling it's going to be a nasty learning curve, but it's just like any other DCS module, guys. Just put a little bit of reading into it, a little bit of work, a little bit of practice, and you'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff with it. A little side note, I am a little scatterbrained with some of the airframes, and the only reason for that is because I can fly 20 of them, at least. And just remembering different procedures for all of them is not exactly easy. It's a lot of work, but to me it's well worth it and extremely rewarding. I'm gonna get some forward airspeed going here. And then we'll start whipping this thing around a little bit, because I want to see how she handles. Not gonna do anything too crazy with it just yet, since I don't know exactly what I'm doing with it, but I'm not gonna lie, this little helmet-mounted queuing thing that we have here, very interesting. It's not like you get your hammocks that would be in one of the fast jets, but I see what it's trying to do and what it's doing, and I like it. And she's very responsive to the rudder input. I like that. Okay. Let's see. Bugs, this is probably a very bad idea, but we're gonna go for it anyway. We'll see how maneuverable this baby really is. Hang on up there, buddy. You'll be alright. This thing can lurk around buildings pretty well. A little sideways flying here. Let's see. Oh, wow. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, I really am enjoying this and I'm liking this. So if we really wanted to, we can get ourselves into a position and we can sneak right on through here. Just hide behind this building and then pop out. Just like this. Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was just a little nervous about doing that. But it worked. Alright, let's bring her out over the water and bring her back. See if we can do a little bit more maneuvering with it. Alright, with feet wet. And let's not get hit by a seagull. Let's see how she can whip around. Wow. Okay. You see why this thing is so deadly. A little too much. There we go. Ooh, now we're gaining a little too much. Alright. Very fine line with this thing, I see. Alright. Let's go check out over here. Spin our nose around a little bit. Bring her sideways. That's pretty cool. It's pretty scary how this thing can pop out from around a building, you wouldn't even know it. Or a hill or behind a tree line or something like that. You wouldn't even know that she's there. That's pretty cool. Let's see, let's not get ourselves into too much trouble. Alright, so we can blend in pretty well with this, which is awesome. And then we can get ourselves right out of trouble if we need to, and we can get ourselves into trouble real quick, just like that. Whoa, careful, bugs. Jesus. Alright. Almost just lost it there, guys. That would have been bad. Let's see if we can touch this baby down. This is a little different, especially from the back seat. Like I said, guys, I'm not used to flying in the back seat and controlling the aircraft. So we got to be real careful here with this. Nice and easy. See if we can scooch her over just a little bit. go. There we go, just like that. Alright, let's see. Uh-oh. Okay. This takes a little bit of getting used to. Hey, we're on the ground. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. And we just put her down in one piece, I believe. We most certainly did. All right. Not bad. All right, let's bring it back up, and then let's fly around a little bit more, a little bit more of a feel for her, and then we'll bring it back to Almanad. We'll touch down, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. I will give it to her. She has a very, very, very smooth takeoff. Very smooth takeoff. I like it. And I am flying the longbow version of this with the FCS on the top of the rotor mast. It's always been one of my favorites, was the Apache longbow. But depending on what mission you guys are flying is what you guys are going to be equipped with. This one's just for fun, just to get a feel of it, like I said. So I'll worry about the weapon systems on this thing another time. I do have to read into that a little bit more to see how things work with it. But like I've always said, if you can't fly it, you can't fight with it. She doesn't like that. Okay. I'm half tempted to go up and do a flip with this thing, but let me get another flight or two under my belt first, just to get a feel for how she handles, and then we'll worry about that. So I have done that in the Black Hawk, and it's not easy to do. You gotta be very careful. And I don't trust this thing entirely just yet. Alright, there's home. I do have to say, I'm very surprised, and I really like how this thing can hover. It's almost effortless to hover this thing, unlike the Huey or the AH-64, which could be a royal pain in the ass. But This thing's pretty rock solid, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if we can do a touch and go here with this and see what happens. Hopefully we don't break anything on that one. So if you guys do remember, the Apache did make an appearance in one of my videos in missions. That was the Intrusion of Area 51 Part 1. When I was flying the Huey, we did have a little bit of backup from the Apaches. Which, speaking of that mission set, I am putting together the Part 2 of that mission, which is going to be with the F-14. So I just have a few more kinks to work out on it. And then once that is good to go and everything's ironed out, you guys will be seeing that one just as well. I'm looking forward to flying that one for you guys. But for now, we're going to focus on flying the Apache and not killing ourselves. Let's see if we can shoot this approach with this thing. The one thing I have noticed is that she is very dependent on the pedal input into your rudder pedals. So I do have to hold a decent amount of boot or right rudder for this thing, but keeps her pin straight. I'm okay with it. Let's see what we could do here. Nice and easy, guys. Let's watch our input here. Nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. And we're down. Back up, nice and easy, little off. Oh boy. Alright, we're on the runway, that's for sure. Rolling out. Let's gain some speed here. full forward stick. And we're flying again. Oh boy. We almost weren't. That would have been bad. Alright, like I said, it's my first time flying this thing, so... just cut me a little bit of slack, guys. Scooch over the runway. There we go. Not bad. And that's usually where we take off from when we have a fast jet going, other than the A-10. Right over there. And actually, while we're up here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for our next spot for the hangar tour video, because the hangar has expanded quite a bit. We still could probably do it over there, but we're probably better off doing it over here, where we're going to land and where we took off from. It's just a little bit bigger. And let me know in the comments below if you guys like the hangar tour videos to see the different airframes that I fly and whatnot. I'll give you guys a little lowdown about them, if they're a freeware mod, where to get them from, who the developers are and whatnot. I enjoy doing those. They're fun. And it's just amazing when it's all said and done, seeing how many airframes you actually can fly comfortably. Alright. Let's see if we can land this baby in one piece. Let's come over this way. There we go. Easy. Easy, bugs. There you go. Start slowing her down a little bit. We don't want to down too much. I don't want too much of a rate of descent, because that'll be bad news. And I also don't want my nose oscillating, just like it is right now. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's not good. 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 Easy, bugs. Easy. There we go. Wow. Okay. Alright, so there's a few things I have to work out with how to fly this thing myself, but that's okay. I just want to hold her steady. Go. There we go. Nice, easy, easy, easy. Easy does it. Easy does it. We're still in the air, guys. Wow. The control over this helicopter is unbelievable. Wow. Maybe we weren't. Maybe we were on the ground. Okay. Okay. Still, the control over this thing is unbelievable. That's crazy. Alright, let's spin around over here. And I gotta find our fuel gauge too. Spin our nose around a little bit. There we go. Okay. Actually, I want to see this really quick before we power down. Oh, okay, there's our fuel. Okay. Deedle deedle. Sounds like a Hornet. Missions off. Don't know how to shut this thing down. That's not good. Okay, so we have to drop them down into the idle cutoff position. Okay, no problem. Like I said, it's still a little bit of a learning curve for me. It's a new airframe. It was really fun to fly this, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed that. I do have to get a few more controls figured out on this thing. I'm gonna fly it a few more times and see if she's gonna be a keeper. So stay tuned for that, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed flying the Apache. Definitely go check it out. If you guys want to give it a shot before you buy it, you most certainly can. You can fly for 2 weeks and give it your own assessment and see what you guys think. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, comment, subscribe for more, and until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.